You're watching the USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western and the Prinx Tires USL Cup. From the Nutmeg State, it is the reigning champion, home again to begin the third edition of this competition, Hartford Athletic, against their El Clamico rival, Rhode Island FC. And welcome in, everybody. Joined by Ricky Lopez, Espin, Mike Watts on hand, and welcome to a new edition of this USL Cup. Hartford won it all last year. Rhode Island made it into that last eight. And all these teams that are now a month plus into their season can say, this is a totally clean slate, a new start.
It's an opportunity and it's excitement when you're talking about the USL Cup. Opportunity to chase another trophy if you are a club, and excitement because when you're talking about competition, it's all about moments. Having the ability to produce individual brilliance moments. We saw it in 25. Expect the unexpected here in 26.
As it pertains to 2026, there is one pretty big difference in terms of the competition structure. Not 6 groups, 7 groups. It means there's only one wild card available to a team that fails to win their group. Everyone plays 4 group stage games, 2 at home, 2 on the road. And the really fun part, we don't do draws. You either take the full 3 points or you go to a shootout to see who gets that extra point at the end of the night. And as it pertains to this particular group, it's Group 5. It's in the Northeast. 3 teams from the championship, 3 from League One. Hearts of Pine, Westchester, Cosmos, and then Brooklyn, Hartford, and Rhode Island. With that in mind, this is a very competitive group. Both teams involved in this game made the knockout in the final 8 last year. Of course, Hartford won it. Rhode Island won their group against Hartford, believe it or not. And it means that there's a lot on the line, and both teams understand how important it is to set the tone today.
You and I spoke with Brendan Burke ahead of this match, and he was very open and very honest, saying you win this match, you control the group. So you look at both of these lineups for both of these sides, and that assessment is really true, really talented starting 11 for both clubs.
Brendan Burke also mentioned how important it was for a club that he had taken over just 18 months prior to win a trophy. This was one of the bottom dwellers in the championship, and then they went to Sacramento and won it all.
The road to get here was really phenomenal for Hartford Athletic. You play against Rhode Island, you take them down. You go to Sacramento, you take them down, and you also played at San Antonio. Really good opportunity for Hartford Athletic. But you look at players in a cup competition, Augie Williams, he's going to lead the line. He's a selfless type of number 9, meaning he's going to work his socks off of the ball. Defensively, he's going to be the first line of pressure, but when he does get high up the field, he's a composed and clinical finisher. Service into him is going to be crucial for Hartford Athletic.
Couple goals through 8 appearances for Augie Williams, who's one of the best marksmen in USL Championship history. Conversely, for Rhode Island, Josiah Quizera changes everything that they do.
The maturity that we've seen from Quizera has been phenomenal when he plays on the right-hand side, because he has the ability to come century on his left foot to combine, but he also can isolate himself in 1v1 opportunities. When he does get into that final third, his decision-making is what sets him apart. Look for him to test Hartford Athletic in that back line early and often here for Rhode Island.
So Quizera and Williams both hoping that their teams are the ones that take control in Group 5 on the first match day of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. El Clamico again. Rhode Island and Hartford are next on CBS Sports Network. Welcome back. It is the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Brendan Burke hoisting the trophy that Hartford accumulated last year. A new banner to be raised here in Hartford, Connecticut, a home of champions. A look at his starting 11 for this game. This is about as good a lineup as they can put out.
And it starts essentially with Makangila, Moreira, Obalola. How good can they be at winning that initial duel, understanding when to press, when to drop? If they can get in a rhythm, that allows Angelina and Augie Williams to be really expansive, to run in behind and stretch the game for Hartford Athletic.
Conversely, for Rhode Island, plenty of rotation, but that is a very good lineup.
Airville and Holstead need to do a good job at winning that midfield battle because Connell Smith wants to play in between the lines and allow Quizera and Atkinson to be as wide as they possibly can to provide the width Fusion's going to have the freedom to go and search the game, and expect Dorsey to be the focal point, to play into his feet and have runners off of him.
It is the 7th all-time meeting between these two squads, which has included a game on just April 1st, 25 days ago, in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Rhode Island sent Hartford packing. Rhode Island has since gone down in penalties in a hotly contested match with New England. 2 wins for Rhode Island in this series, a loss and 3 draws. Rain steadily falling, and kickoff here in Hartford. That is a minute we've seen throughout the first month and a half of the USL season. We're underway in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. This is the group stage. Hartford Athletic and Rhode Island, the opening fixture in Group 5. These sides met in July. Plenty of fireworks for a game without goals last year on CBS. Obviously met in April, a decision that belonged to Rhode Island in the Open Cup, and here they go in a cup competition again. Ricky, this does not in any way affect the league standings, but you can tell if you get this result right, Brooklyn, the only other team from the championship in your group and expansion side, and then 3 League One teams, handle this, and then it's about you handling your business the rest of the way.
The 90 minutes here are going to be really important, yes, for USL Cup, but also the growing momentum over the course of 2026. It's always going to feel a little bit better when you play against a rival close in proximity, so these games mean a little bit more. First 10 to 15 minutes, specifically centrally, will tell us a lot to see who can dominate the identity of this match.
About 80 miles door to door. El Clamico as named by the fans. This down the line for TJ Prestis runs too far. Hartford on 10 points through 7 games within their league season. Rhode Island on 8 points through 6. Both straddling that 8th and final playoff position at present. Pay forces Rhode Island into reverse. And sent over to Nick Scardina. Prestis. Holstead. Will touch over. Atkinson. Sanchez. it's going the other way.
Especially with Hartford Athletics starting in a 3-back system, the wide parts of the field, Presses and Anderson need to understand when to drop and supply some defensive efforts, because you look at Atkinson and Quizera, they want to run, they want to get at you, and they want to be really transitional and vertical. So the positioning to start this game, specifically for Brendan Burke's side, really important.
Sprung into touch. Brendan Burke, 3rd year at the helm, 6th head coach for Hartford Athletics since they first took the field in 2019. He gained a reputation for a builder. Now he has the reputation of a champion. It's one thing to take a very young team in Bethlehem and make them competitive, to take a Colorado Springs team that had fallen on hard times and get them a year away from reaching the championship title. It's another thing to pilot the team from the beginning of that process to the end. And that's exactly what he did last year.
I'll take it a step further, because you and I always continue to speak with Brendan Burke throughout the years, and he said, look, this roster specifically in 2026 is the most balanced that I've had when I've been here at Hartford Athletic, understanding that defensively they have players that can win their individual duels, and centrally it gives them the engine to be box to box. When you talk about the athletic ability going forward, Brendan Burke has a team within his locker room now.
Quizera for Holstead, back out to Quizera, playing on the right, a dominant left foot player. And back to Karifa Yao. Sanchez back to Koke Vegas. Usually we go into these cup competitions, Ricky, and I go, as a former player, you know, it must have your antennas up, wishing you could play. And then we saw the rain in the forecast and temperatures in the mid-40s, and I don't know that you'd actually feel that way tonight.
No. Give me 70s, give me a nice sunshine, and then I'll be happy. Because I'm not built for this.
Spoken like a guy who loved his time in Madison. Dorsey. Floated over to Quizera. Atkinson. Scardina. Holstead unloads. Turned away by Jordan Scarlett, who was enormous throughout that USL Cup title-winning run last year.
Seven minutes in, you just see the trust that Connell Smith has in Stillman and Yao on the ball. Both center backs are extremely wide in possession, which can drop Harrisville or Holstead. But most importantly, it allows Gardina and Sanchez to be really high create overloads. Again, on that wide channel will be crucial for Rhode Island.
Connell Smith, his 3rd year leading Rhode Island FC from a figure of everyone's imagination. What could they be? A beautiful stadium, the renderings, to a side that's gone to the Eastern Conference final in back-to-back years. They won that final in 2024, but fell in the championship final away to Colorado Springs. They always peak at the end of the year. They always seem to have the right mentality in these cup games.
Ask Connell Smith, what is it about pressure situations? Why do you continue to excel? And he said, look, there's just the maturity of the players to understand what needs to be done in this situation, and the trust that he instills to every single one of his individuals has been really impressive for Connell Smith.
And you talk to Connell, we'll sit with the coach 20, 30 minutes ahead of a game, and he is so level, his demeanor. And it's not surprising in some ways that you attract players with that similar cool under pressure.
And never get too high, never get too low, always stay consistent in your mindset. That was a message from Connell Smith, and his players understand once you lose a couple games in a row, it's not the time to press the panic button. Done a good job at bouncing back after a little bit of a disappointment throughout the league, back-to-back losses.
Bounced back with a 4-0 win against Charleston after that epic performance against New England. 120 minutes went to penalties in the Open Cup. They felt like they were the true aggressor of that match. But this marks their third different competition in 3 games. Focus up again, Aravo. Williams was waiting beneath it, but again, Rhode Island on the front foot. Rhode Island won Group 4 in this competition, went to the semifinal and fell ultimately to Sacramento, who themselves fell to Hartford in the USL Cup final in 2025. Becerra lashes to the top of the penalty area, turned away. Dorsey tried to claim it after the Holstead shot was blocked.
And it's the second time that we've seen Clay Holstead do a good job at arriving late to the top of the 18-yard box. If you are Omolola, Moreira, or Makangila, you have to be aware of the cutback. Watch out here.
Ball turned over cheaply to Hartford. Williams leads the way. Williams slid away by Stoneman. It's still on. And again, Grant Stoneman gets a piece. This time concedes a corner.
Good job from Michi and Galena here just to pick the pocket of Zach Arvo. And as you become a little bit more transitional, you need to be more lethal if you are Augie Williams. Just far too slow. Do a good job at bypassing the run from Michi and Galena, but that touch needs to be away from Grant Stoneman, not allowing him to drop down and recover quite well. You have 2 decisions here. If you can cut it a little bit more of a diagonal angle, just too much ball shown to Stoneman doing a good job.
It's a corner to Sebastian Anderson. Seb's been brilliant this year, among the best outside backs in USL, according to his manager. Anderson offers, header steered across. Williams skies it. Appeal that hit off the Rhode Island player. It's not how the referee sees things.
Set pieces, so crucial when you're talking about a cup competition. Really well done here from Scarlett just to help it on Augie Williams at this back post. Sanchez doing just enough to deny this ball back across.
Mohamed Kalia is the referee for this game. Okay, Vegas will drive it away. The Rhode Island captain and the first ever signing for the club. Logan Dorsey. That hit off Fisher last. Nope, off Dorsey. Anthony Siaha and Hartford taking the title last year. That's the knockout stage games that they played at San Antonio. 2-0. Knocked out the final remaining League One team in Greenville Triumph. Then the 1-0 win with Samuel Cariaga named the final MVP in Sacramento in October. October 2nd through the 4th, the window for the final this year. Games will run intermittently throughout the league season into July. See the quarterfinals midweek August 13th, semifinals midweek on September the 9th. Then the final will be played on a weekend in the final month of the regular season. Tossed in, a strike at frame. Did not trouble Siaha in the end.
But just a spatial awareness from Fuson here. Understanding Makangila's really tight. If I let this ball come across my body, I'll have an area to pull the trigger. Mishits it. But if you can get him playing off the shoulder in between lines, then you cause some issues for Hartford Athletic.
Well, Hartford known as a transitional team historically. More balanced, to your point, than years past. Fisher playing long again. Instead lobs it upfield. Flick on is gobbled up by Scarlett. Sent into the bleachers. If you're Hartford, are you comfortable with the amount that Rhode Island's had the ball to this point?
100%. You don't need the ball to be effective. For Brendan Burke, you've shown that, especially with the type of profiles that you have leading the line with Galina and Augie Williams. It takes one silly turnover. Your first pass forward, there's going to be a lot of green grass to operate in. But understanding connecting that first pass is going to be crucial, because Rhode Island right now are committing a lot of numbers forward that can leave them vulnerable going back the other way.
Comes off Prestis. Another a throw for Prestis, came off Scardina. Too many twos, too close together. Wrong-sided Fuson belongs to Quizera. Centrally for Zach Aravo. Stoneman. Scardina. Fuson. Dorsey. That's nearly some beautiful football. Scardina not on the receiving end. And a free kick suffered that'll relieve a bit of the pressure by Obalola. Get ready for some epic pitch play as some of the best clubs in women's soccer go head-to-head. The first leg of the UEFA Champions League semifinals tomorrow morning, 10:30 Eastern. Don't miss the reigning champion Arsenal hosting Lyonnais right here on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount Plus.
The positioning for Rhode Island, understanding when there is no pressure on the ball. The two center backs, Stoneman and Yao, need to have the ability to read the game, meaning if they are caught way too high, that plays into the hands of Galina and Augie Williams. So you have to drop and eliminate the space in behind, because we've talked about Brendan Burke's side wanting to be a little bit more direct and transitional, getting in behind the high line of Rhode Island.
Over for Britton Fisher. And again, Hartford unable to string together a couple passes that put Rhode Island on their heels. There's Sanchez. Throw for Rhode Island. Well done by Scarlett. Williams, short-lived. Stoneman trails back. Williams drops it back. Better here from Hartford and Galina inside. Turning Obalola.
Needs to be lifted to the back post. Obalola there doing a good job playing in between the lines. You have three real options crashing towards that far post. You need a little bit more quality for Hartford Athletic in around that 18-yard box.
Anderson trying to get a proper grip on this. Anderson into the box. Really had a chance to have a go at that with his feet. Runs by Macangila. Herrera hooks that forward. Well, that's not how it was drawn up. The last 3 plays on the ball are really baffling when put in context.
It just seems like Hartford Athletic, once they felt any pressure, they just kicked to try to get rid of it. There's one thing about putting a team under pressure and playing more direct, but doing it under control is a completely different story for Brendan Burke's side. Need to settle into this game.
Rolled over to Scardina. Last 3 years in Charlotte, acclimating to the right back role. He's behind Nate Byrne for some of that, who really mentored him along in the position. Quizera. There's Williams dropping deep to win the ball. Which is great, except now the outlet up top, you've got Obalola up there by his lonesome, or Engelina in that instance.
Talked about the work rate for Augie Williams in the open. Brendan Burke mentioned to us in our conversation, say he's going to work extremely hard as a number 9. He's going to drop off, but the second part of that is if he does play with a running mate, he needs to come ball side, like you mentioned, to be that outlet. So if Augie Williams shows defeat or drops a little bit deeper, and Galena needs to provide coverage and come across just so he can be a player that gets on the ball.
20 minutes gone in a game where we can, in fact, guarantee goals. If it finishes level, there is a team that's going to walk away with the 3rd point, so to speak, in a penalty shootout. That is Yao sliding in. That runs over the line. A reminder of what this all means at the group stage level. The first of 4 games that each team will play, win in regulation, fine, 3 points. Once you finish regulation in a draw, each team will get at least a point. Then the winner in the shootout will get the additional point, walk away with 2. If you lose in regulation, you get nothing. Get all that?
I did.
All right.
I did quite well. Good job.
Well, hey, I had the Cliff Notes in front of me. Open note test.
One thing also that I love about the USL Cup is the first tiebreaker is goal scored.
Yeah.
So meaning you need to have the ability to find the back of the net. We want excitement, we want goals. It's all about that first tiebreaker, trying to advance yourself.
That's what ended up being last year for Hartford. They got through on that wild card position, and this year there's only 1 instead of the 2, with 7 groups instead of 6 to create that 8-team quarterfinal round. So a 0-0 draw where you get the extra point, that's all good and fine, but if you fail to win the group, you've put yourself way behind. Williams takes the hit.
It's the right idea here from Augie Williams, just trying to change the point of attack, because there is a ton of green grass for Anderson to operate in, but just mishits it. A little bit of a bump from Scardina, and an opportunity for Hartford Athletic to really test Koke Vegas in this Rhode Island goal.
In the box, header touched over by Koke Vegas. Well, wouldn't you know it, halfway through the first half, all the pressure Rhode Island's produced, it's Hartford that's come closest to target.
A really good ball lifted to this back post, just wanting one of your 2 big boys in Fisher and Disbay to win their individual duels and really test Koke Vegas. Good save from the goalkeeper, no nonsense. Not sure, push it up and over your crossbar, and it is Fisher in the end. Really good header from the center back.
Fisher on loan from Minnesota United, signed there on a 2-year deal with options for more. After 3 seasons with Minnesota's second team. Discussion before this ball gets put back in play. I mentioned the wild cards. Last year, Hartford actually had the 3rd best goal differential of the teams on 9 points, but scored more goals than Louisville or Charlotte Independence. ultimately went through along with Birmingham Legion at 1 point more than that pack. Into the box, Yao, domineering header away. As far as Obalola. Angelina circles around. One of the most electric players in the championship.
In this game, really quiet through 25 minutes. Only 6 touches for Angelina. You need him to become a little bit more influential. When you talk about touches, how effective can he be higher up the field? Because that's when he's at his best, running 1v1 towards the opposition.
Scarlett, Britton Fisher. See Hartford's record buoyed by a series of draws. Rhode Island, fewer game played than Hartford in the league. Vegas able to make the catch. This game does not affect league standings. You know, I was sort of wondering how that would play out. And I think as we've gotten into year 3, the first year was only League One teams, and then we saw the championship join in last year. Different clubs are going to have different philosophies on this, on Open Cup, on any competition that they're in. One coach telling me this week, we're not at a place right now where we're chasing a trophy today. We're trying to figure out the right guys to get us trophies in the future. We're going to use the cup in that way. But by placing games on the weekend and not playing an additional 4 games, but merely replacing 4 regular season games, has allowed teams to put focus on this without totally draining their league resource. Prestis plays centrally. Out to Makingila. Now Adrian Dispay. Goodbye. Dispay in front. Touched aside Vegas. Prestis came for it. It's lifted over the line, a corner.
Well done from the center back. Dispay first to show off soft feet and elude Atkinson, but second to put this ball in a dangerous area as this surface is extremely wet. You really test Koke Vegas here. Skips off the top of that 6-yard box. If you are a little bit quicker to anticipate for Prestis, it's 1-0. As Koke Vegas clearly misjudges the amount of pace behind this ball, actually saves it with his head. Good recovery in the end from Quizera.
Corner. That is a push from Hartford into Haribo.
Just going back to the point that you made, Mike, about different teams using this competition for different reasons. And it goes back to the word that I started the whole show with, opportunity, right? It's an opportunity for coaches to grow within their size, opportunity for coaches to see the type of players that they have within their locker room. That's one thing, and it's an opportunity for clubs, again, to chase trophies that are going to take this thing extremely serious, that feel that they have a real shot. Good challenge from Makangila there. Really well done.
And both these teams are clearly in the we're here to win it zone. One already did, of course.
They get extremely serious.
Cano Smith said, look, we can't throw the same group out there necessarily that we did last week. Said Clay Holstead ran 17 kilometers nearly against New England. Now, to be fair, Holstead is starting. So his 17 kilometers is my 5.
So you got 7 in you.
Not if I'm going to play again the following
yeah,
week.
Yeah. See the left leg there from Herrera just catching Hervo.
Herrera's yet to find a challenge he didn't like. Unafraid to take a chunk. There is the aforementioned Holstead.
Rhode Island struggling to find no use on in between lines. And especially with having a single pivot in Makangila for Hartford Athletic, that is an area that you need to exploit, whether it is Holstead or Hairboot playing a little bit higher, creating an overload. But if you can draw out that defensive midfielder, the whole game will start to open up, and Dorsey will come a little bit more involved as well. When Hartford Athletic is doing a good job in number one, is squeezing the game. And that back three being really aggressive and staying connected with Makangila.
Morera. Pay. Indy signed him. 1 month later, he was sent, I imagine, for a small fee to Hartford. Indy's done a couple of those over the years. Who am I to blame? A savvy business person. Trying to turn the corner. Eastbay got there, out to Holstead. Scardina. Quizera onto his left. Tried to unload. Maybe another look. Bounces kindly to Scardina, who is offside.
Just a little bit too casual from Quizera there. Once you receive this ball, that is when you need to go at Prestis, put him on his heels, because you're about 19 yards away from your attacking goal. But again, another example of Augie Williams dropping back over 40 yards, doing the defensive side and helping out his side.
Not the big one though. We treated the $85 margarita towers. It was like what, 4 drinks each, I think? Or 5 drinks each? 3 people.
Fuson battling away. Fisher, Siaha, a little bit loose on that first touch, a bit out of his reach, then plays a dime of a ball.
Oh yes, go get it, go get it.
Good touch.
Prestis. Here's Fisher. Hartford yet to win at home. Ball lobbed into the box. He's running away from Prestis. This action coming to you from Group 5. 3 teams from the championship: Brooklyn, Rhode Island, and Hartford. 3 from League One, the new standing New York Cosmos, with Westchester SC. And I think the emotional pick to be one of the League One teams that has a good chance to get out, Portland Hearts of Pine. I love everything that they're about. It's been amazing to watch that club.
6,000 plus numerous of times there at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Bobby Murphy's been able to build on and off the field one of, if not the best places to go in, regardless of your championship or League One.
Prestis, short of Williams. And I think that's really why everyone gets up for this. It's one thing. El Clamico is always going to carry a little bit of juice to it, but both these teams will see Brooklyn home and away over the course of the regular year. So what makes this different? Well, you're closer to a trophy for one. That goes whistling by Siaha. But really, it's the League One teams all hoping that they can do what Greenville did last year, the semifinal, or maybe even further.
And as a club, all you can ask for is an opportunity to showcase yourself against championship sides if you are a League One side. And this is exactly what USL Cup gives you. ability to walk across the white line and showcase yourself to higher opposition. So if you are any of the USL League One side, this is a brilliant chance to make your case here.
Look at a team like Boise tonight that'll meet Las Vegas at the right time for both teams. And that's one of those games where you kind of go, because Nate Miller comes from San Diego in the championship a few years ago, and that roster is loaded with guys that are familiar. Shot hit at Siaha and turned away. Clay Holstead, a decent look, and Siaha felt a little delayed, but he did get there.
It makes it look a lot easier than what this is, Clay Holstead, because this ball is directly underneath him, so he needs to get his balance right, find his feet. Notice, really awkward angle, but hits it extremely well. And that is a good save from Siaha initially. And thankfully, Anderson is there to clean up that mess, because as a goalkeeper, you never want to parry the ball back into a dangerous area.
Off the corner. Stabbed at Fringolina. And goes down! No penalty. The referee instantly waves it aside. Karifa Yao. What an impressive tackle. No VAR in USL competitions. The referee very emphatic.
And it starts with this first touch from Moreira. Phenomenal to continue the momentum, to break a line. And now you're running at this back line for Rhode Island. And Galena does a good job at splitting the difference of Stoneman and Yao, and that is a clean challenge. Watch the left foot come across and get contact with the ball. Notice where the ball goes. Phenomenal from Yao, because you need to get this right, and he gets it 100% right. And it's a really good no call from a referee as well. Good recovery from the center back.
Doesn't make it hurt any less for Fringolina as he goes tumbling. And that's twice now that Hartford really used transition to their benefit. Galena, a couple goals in that USL Cup run last year. Michi, 8 goal contributions over 26 games in the league as well. Obalola helping up Sanchez. That stiff arm, a bit much from Dorsey, it turns out. Every game in USL this weekend is a Prinx Tires USL Cup game. Ball out from Fuson. Seeking space, that blocked in room from Atkinson, who scored in that game against Charleston from the penalty spot late, the 4th and final goal. Goes soaring into the stand.
That's really good 1v1 defending from Dispay as well. Not easy when you have an isolated winger like Atkinson, good ball here.
Lest we forget, J.J. Williams available off the bench. Amadi Diop. Afonso. The bigger name guys that Rhode Island can bring in and seek either a goal or a bit of a pop off the bench. For Hartford, that's Cariaga, Coffey, among others. Scardina, Quizera, floated away, Holstead.
Such a difficult technique from Clay Holstead to go with the at least preferred left foot. You have to swipe down on the ball, gets his balance all off, shoulders go back. It just clearly gets underneath it. But we're seeing a lot of success for Hartford Athletic when building out of the back, specifically through the three center backs, because Sanchez is getting caught really high. So that is where Obalolo or Morera are just operating right in that channel. Michi and Galina and Augie Williams are finding success staying as high as they possibly can. And again, you just see the overload on this wide part of the field.
Prestis. Galina back outside. Prestis return off the mark. Approaching halftime. It is the typical hard-fought match between these teams. The average is about a goal a game apiece. Rhode Island pulled ahead in the all-time series beginning of April. That's no fooling, that's no joke. Dorsey, Scarlett shoves him away. Dorsey got the cross through. Saw Noah Fuson. Prestis. A few too many of those tonight for Hartford on the whole.
It's been really sloppy, especially when the surface is really slick. Your first touch is everything to set you up for success.
Fuson. It's back on Macangila. Zackinson. 4 appearances all off the bench in the league. Couple of goals, including that penalty. Scored last time out against Charleston. Now, there's a lot to be said about the value of a long throw in the attacking area. It's probably underrated, the value having a player who can give you a little bit of distance down in this end of the field. Prestis, part of quite the soccer family. His dad, Tom, twice an MLS Cup champion. His mom captained SMU to the Final Four. His brother, a pro. Holstead. 3 teams from USL in the final 16 in the US Open Cup. Everyone getting a new lease on Cup life in the Prinx Tires USL Cup this year. Williams trying to clear a bit of space on Yao. Yao a bit off kilter. Stoneman did not want to find out how close Williams was.
Just so opportunistic Augie Williams is to create something out of nothing. This is a blind ball here from Prestis, and just a work rate to make life extremely difficult and uncomfortable for Yao and Grant Stoneman. But if you are a center back, you should not allow this ball to be bouncing in your defensive 18-yard box. You need to take the initiative at clearing your lines if you are Yao there.
By the way, that's commitment in the sweep back there. I think that's sleeping child and clapping along anyway.
Think they have heaters?
Well, I hope so.
I would hope so, right?
But the blanket's there. It's knowing how to pack for the trip. You and I, the uncultured folks, we do not get cover, no. One added minute. I think we know which minute that is. A little air change. Ball just sort of died on the turf. Son gave it a go. It's really the commencement of a new season of the USL on CBS Sports. Plenty of soccer this summer coming your way from the very peak of the World Cup through USL Championship, League One, and the USL Cup. Holstead lobs into the area. Should take us to the break. Played the minute. The referee is a stickler. And halftime at 0-0.
If you are Connell Smith, you need to get something going forward. Fuson, Quazera, Atkinson, and Dorsey need to become on the same page. It was really isolated throughout your front four. And for Brendan Berg, if you can continue to find Obalola and Morera off the shoulder of the double pivot, you can find success. Eugene Galena and Augie Williams need to be a little bit more quality and clinical in that final third as well.
Not much for Siaha and Koke Vegas to do. Come and take it. That, the USL Cup, the trophy that Hartford had lusted for and gained last year. It's scoreless at the break. The USL on CBS Sports is presented by Best Western. Welcome back to the Prinx Tires USL Cup and halftime on CBS Sports Network. Hartford and Rhode Island, the USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. Ricky Lopez, Espen, Mike Watts. Take a look at the larger Prinx Tires USL Cup out-of-town scoreboard. What about Louisville and Fort Wayne? Level terms, Louisville playing in the Open Cup at Houston this week.
Yeah, 1-1 there at Lynn Family Stadium, but my eyes go to Brooklyn FC, taking down a New York Cosmos, getting a clean sheet, scoring 3 goals. Pittsburgh Riverhounds taking care of Greenville. Triumph 1-1, Loudon and Charleston. Charleston Battery have been struggling for the last couple weeks. Portland Hearts of Pine, you've mentioned that hostile environment. They go to Westchester 1-1 at half, and then Charlotte Independence up 2-1 against the Kickers.
Yep, worth noting Brooklyn would move to the top of this group with that result, pending, of course, what remains to be played here in that Westchester fixture. Then the out-of-town scores elsewhere. First half between the Rowdies and Sarasota. That entire group is in the state of Florida. Miami and Sporting Jacks in that 5-team group as well. Jacksonville's still looking for a win.
Yeah, Miami FC up 1-0 against Sporting Jacks, a team that is struggling all across the board to find an identity. But look at Union Omaha up 1-0 at Indy 11. That side continues to be the giant slayer as they always play against higher out competition.
Yep, and no knock on Indy, but no one's surprised when Omaha does well. Meanwhile, San Antonio and Birmingham lead the slate later tonight. Catch this on the CBS Sports Golazo Network.
You think we see a goal from half field again?
Yeah, if Cronali's up for it.
But it's going to be a really interesting game. San Antonio has done a good job under Carlos Hermoso. They've shifted into a 3-back. They have players that can really hurt you in possession and direct, and it's Birmingham Legion an opportunity to continue to chase the trophy.
And lest we forget, they were a wild card last year, so they understand what it means to reach the quarterfinal. Both of these teams do as well. This is the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Hartford and Rhode Island scoreless at the break. USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. Welcome back. Rain intensifying. Hartford and Rhode Island fans don't seem to mind. It's kind of the New England way. USL on CBS Sports. We welcome you back into the booth, everybody. Mike Watson, Ricky Lopez Espin. Ricky, you said it was about moments. We have not had the moment yet.
Yeah, for both of these coaches, you're looking at players to step up and shoulder some responsibility. It's going to be interesting this next 45 minutes. Is there a change in tactics? Is there a change in personnel? Because something has to give in this second half.
Let's show you all of the first half highlight. We start in the 23rd minute.
This ball over to the top. Fisher doing a good job at winning his individual duel, really testing Koke Vegas, who hasn't had a lot to do, but that is a good save from the goalkeeper for Rhode Island.
Let's skip ahead a couple minutes further, and it was Hartford who were on their heels early, but actually created a few chances.
Hartford Athletic was more threatening of the opposing goal. This ball coming in from this bay, is it a shot? Is it a pass? But Koke Vegas misjudges it. Actually comes off of his face, and the right back doing a good job denying a second bite at the apple for Hartford Athletic. But again, if you can play Century, if you can get Fuson, if you can get Holstead in around the 18-yard box, good things will happen. Good strike from Holstead, even better save from Siaha.
And a look at the first half statistics. Rhode Island comes away with 8 of the 11 shots, and really they were at their best the first 15 and the final 15 of that first half. Now we find out which team can come out on top, or if we'll need a shootout to figure out that extra point. No matter what, we're giving away 3 points in Group 5 in the USL Cup tonight. Hartford and Rhode Island scoreless at the break. The USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. The travel map is brought to you by Best Western. Junior Moreira has been everywhere, man.
Exactly what you need for Brendan Burke in that location. The ability to cover ground defensively, clog passing lanes, win his individual duels, and on the ball to keep the game moving. You're going to want to see him a little bit more attacking-minded in this second half, because when he did venture forward, he found success, and that allowed Angelina and Augie Williams to really test Rhode Island's back line.
Moreira, an elite ground coverage player. Meanwhile, Rhode Island retakes the field, well aware that they won the group last year by virtue of handling Hartford on the last day of the group stage. It's reversed now. They open against one another. One will find themselves chasing. One will find themselves potentially in the catbird seat, with the knowledge that Brooklyn FC has put up a 3 spot in a New York derby against New York Cosmos. 3 teams from the New York, New Jersey area within this group, and then 3 from New England in Group 5. There's Moreira, who did all that running and has found his way back onto the field for the second half of play. Everybody just trying to get loose. The temps are going to continue to drop. You can see at halftime the rain intensified for a time. We're just trying to keep the lenses clean out here. You know, you get to halftime in a rivalry game, a cup game, and I imagine both sides can walk away going, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Now it's 45 minutes to go. Either grab the 3, put yourself in position to take 2 tonight.
It's an opportunity for the managers to challenge the players, say, look, there wasn't a lot in that first half, so now show us what it means. Someone have their moment, someone produce magic higher up the field and take chances and express themselves. So which player will step up here in the second half? That's to be determined.
Team's a little bit late getting back out onto the field, which, given the temperatures, I would be too. I haven't had a chance to ask you, not that the World Cup halftime show has been announced, but do you like the concept of Chris Martin serenading the world in that moment at halftime of the final, if that is indeed what happens? Oh boy, he grimaced. I went to see Coldplay at MetLife Stadium, or now the New York, New Jersey Stadium.
Yeah, New York, you can't call it MetLife.
No, not right now, no.
Thoughts on it?
It's a great show. Yeah. Now, getting there and back is a whole different kettle of fish. The opening whistle to the second half, much the same as the first. We enter a minute-long pause at the outset of the second half. On to the second half of play in Hartford, Connecticut. Attention turns back to the game, and the points on the line win this first match day of the USL Cup's group stage. Rhode Island beat Birmingham in the quarters, fell to Sacramento in penalties in the semifinal. Hartford win away in San Antonio, win at home against Greenville, and then won the final in Sacramento last year. In front of 11,569, a Heart Health Park sellout. That's a look at the larger path to the final and proof that scoring more goals and playing the run and gun style that Brendan Burke has long parroted is worthwhile. They got in by virtue of the goals scored tiebreaker, the second wild card team, after Rhode Island won the group on the last day. But a new year, a new chapter to be written. This day began with the trophy being handed out in midfield. A reminder for the fans of what had been accomplished, a new banner they're going to hang here at the venue. And then you get down to brass tacks in a totally new tournament. Rhode Island has always had a fairly stable roster, but Hartford, with 6 head coaches over their 8 years in the championship, have always had a lot more commotion than this. So in a lot of ways, it's refreshing to see Hartford keep so much of this team together. But also, now you've got guys that have done it before.
Brendan Burke in the offseason did a really good job at bringing in players that you needed, players that were going to help you get yourself over the line. And yes, you won the USL Cup in 2025, but to also challenge in the regular season of USL, you're looking at a player like this man, Augie Williams, has had success at every single stop of his career, a proven goal scorer in USL Championship, and also understanding that there is players that within your locker room last year that didn't really fit into the mold of what you were continuing to try to build. And Brendan Burke, very open and saying, we just got rid of almost dead weight in some way. And this, again, goes back to having a really balanced side on the field, but also off the field, the camaraderie as well.
The reality is you enter this year with 9 starters in this game that were here a year ago. Offside flag raised. Fisher, who's on loan from Minnesota, and Augie Williams, who turned down more money by Brendan Burke's own admission to sign a 3-year deal that would tie him to one club and allow him to set roots.
Well, for coaches, you're looking for consistency within performances, consistency within lineups. Same thing for players as well, right? You're looking for a contract that's going to give you the opportunity to know where you're going to stay for the next foreseeable future, know what it's all about, and not having to have that linger in the back of your head saying, if I don't produce here, my contract's going to be cut, whatever it may be. For Augie Williams, that peace of mind as well is going to be really important for him going forward.
Becerra taps it wide, recovers again, spots Scardina, didn't like the look, instead centrally Holstead. Got turned away by Ingalina, back to Holstead. Aravo, upfield from Sanchez. Atkinson did get the cross away, tight quarters. Scardina, Siaha. Siaha certainly sparked the rivalry a little bit in July last year. Was quite excited at the conclusion of the match, made some big saves up in Rhode Island and let the fans know it. Explained his full anatomy in the process. Siaha, big personality, really great shot-stopping goalkeeper. Proved that in Monterey Bay and has carried that over to Hartford. It's out of reach for Seb Anderson.
You do all the hard work there between Makangila and Dispe. You draw in about 3 Rhode Island players. You need to connect that pass. Seb Anderson needs to be a bit quicker to recognize that space and take a step forward. Because if you do, then you really put pressure on Rhode Island's back line.
Siaha hitting that 300 save mark. Admitted he really didn't know much about Landon Donovan when he was playing indoor soccer in San Diego and came across the American great. But once Landon took San Diego Loyal into the championship, brought Siaha on as a backup for that group to none other than Koke Vegas, who's on the other side of the field, was the entrenched starter for that club. Ziaha, game here, game there, ultimately lands in Monterey Bay and runs away with it. Born in Cameroon, raised in Arizona. He's a trialist at Monterey Bay. Won the job and earns a contract there that leads him ultimately to Hartford as the unquestioned #1.
Run that ball, bro.
Williams went up for it. Augie behind only the great Dane Kelly for most goals in championship history. That 3-year contract will give him a real good chance to be the second to enter the Century Club. Scardina. Holstead. Is that big diagonal? Give and go got broken up. Referee doesn't see enough to toot his whistle. Rhode Island preparing their first set of subs here in a moment's time. Bacharach and Afonso due to enter. See the Hartford subs trying to get off those extra warm-ups that they were wearing. Should enter in a moment as well. That is quite the challenge. And Moreira is going into the book for this.
Brendan Burke and his task is very animated on this island, but as this ball comes out, I'll tell you what, initially it does seem like Moreira does make contact with the ball here.
Yeah.
Hervo actually kicks Moreira, then he goes down. Really hard done by the center midfielder for Hartford Athletic, as he is the first player in the book, and I'm not quite sure that's the right decision.
There's Afonso and Bacharach. 6'4" Spanish center back and the 5'9" forward from Brazil. Looks like Atkinson knows his time is up. In 2 months, they'll be taking their shin guards off to signal that their day is over. Right now, it's taking the gloves off. Junior Moreira got that yellow card right on his way out of the game. This is really good news for Hartford. They feel like they've been 4 or 5 starters down. Guys like Emmanuel Samadia still trying to iron out his visa, the Sierra Leone international. Samuel Cariaga and Barry Coffey have been dealing with injury. Both of them are capable of giving about 30 minutes, and that's exactly what they'll come in and provide.
And they also provide pocket presence, the ability to play in between lines. Coffee, Carriaga, two players that are really comfortable with the ball at their feet, want to combine. So it's going to look a little bit different for Hartford Athletic in that central location. Makangila is going to be the more stay at home. He's going to have to cover a lot of ground because Coffee and Carriaga more on the attacking side of play. So expect Augie Williams and Michi and Galina to become a little bit more influential as those two players get involved.
See the full extent of the subs.
And as for Rhode Island, Alfonso's going to give you the work rate and the willingness to crash the 18-yard box. He's going to start in this left-hand side, so right-footed, trying to come centrally. Akarak will give you comfortability on the ball, a little bit more structure for Connell Smith, but the ability to have a big presence at winning aerial duels as well.
Here comes Alfonso. Last couple of years at Inter Miami. Gives it back to Sanchez. Delivers the cross. Siaha got a piece. That's a vital intervention because Alfonso is running through the middle of the penalty area.
You need more here from Dorsey, Quazera, and Fuson. If you can have someone slash across the face of Siaha, it's 1-0. That is a really good ball in terms of the location, right on top of that 6-yard box, but there's just no presence.
Launch from range into the gut of Siaha. It dribbled away from him, and he just did enough to get it out of harm's way.
I talked about Quazera, left footer, playing the right-hand side, so always going to challenge centrally. Love the aggressiveness. First touch out of your body, and that ball is moving. Siaha unable to deal with it, and very fortunate he's able to use that left leg because Logan Dorfey is right there. We just see the movement on the strike from Quazera.
Dorsey scored a dozen goals in the 3rd division MLS Next Pro. Upper rung in competition this year. This was going to be untouched. And Siaha is frustrated, but you also have to make that call. I'm not sure it got heard. Either way, another corner to defend.
We've talked about the climate and how wet the surface is, so your first touch is important, but if you are a striker or an attacking player or defender, you have to follow up because any sort of spillage can be the difference.
Sanchez toward Yao, was doubled. Holstead. Drop down in front of Dorsey. That lash from range deflected from Scardina off Carriaga. And another set piece for Rhode Island. Sanchez will do the honors. 24 and 4 are the big options. Back set. Comes to Noah Fuson. And Galina forced him away, but not out of harm's way. Alfonso. Bangs off of Carriaga. I'm not entirely sure what a referee is supposed to do when the ball hits the corner flag and knocks it over. The answer is a throw, I guess. Long throw into the box, settled atop the 6. Akarak tried to get there. Ball deflects down on the shot by Stoneman. Flag goes up anyway. You know, the more I look around the venue here, Ricky, the thing that stood out to me about Hartford winning this last year, they got the semifinal against League One Greenville at home. But for the fans that stuck it out, that first game at Rentschler Field was amazing. Ball through off of Williams. If it had just been left, could have had a real go at that. Brendan Burke said, I don't blame the fans that maybe are frustrated, want to see change when he first arrived. They tried the local coach, they tried the UConn legend coach, they tried the manager from England. Every which way, and they just couldn't nail it. And Brendan Burke has come in and done the job, and the fans never wavered. And on a night like this, the fact that anyone showed up when it's 40, rainy, windy, downtown Hartford, credit to them. It's been a great revenue night for selling rain slickers. That's Yao making a point. Both coaches made reference to it in looking back at Hartford winning this last year. 18 months ago, this was one of the bottom professional teams in the U.S. results-wise. Total heel turn to win USL Cup last year. I think the biggest thing is you look at them this year, Ricky. They've allowed 7 goals, fine, in their opening 7 games, but 4 clean sheets. Brendan Burke said that's stability we did not have. Maybe there's something on here. Holstead outside. Lashed back across by Afonso. Bit of confusion on the defensive header. Sanchez forward, glancing off of Fuson. And out to Galina.
With that last action for Afonso, that is what you have when you have a right footer playing the left-hand side. He needs to continue with the momentum as he is trying to cut it back on his preferred right foot. That allows Anderson to just cut down the passing lane. And this is a sub of intent here for Connell Smith. J.J. Williams, a brace against Charleston. Big, physical, really soft feet. And it's going to be the focal point for Rhode Island to really occupy the back 3 for Hartford. So the movement in and around him going to be really important for Connell Smith if they want to find a way to break through and find the back of the net.
That's Matt Real. Part of the side that won the USL Championship title in Colorado Springs in 2024 against Rhode Island. See Rodriguez is in from Linaus onto the field as well. Prestis takes leave in favor of the aforementioned Real. Comes back to Cariaga. A worm burner of sorts. And Quizera came up a bit lame from that.
Struggling right now, Hartford Athletic, to get out of their defensive half, but give credit to Rhode Island and Connell Smith. The subs that he has made provided an impact in terms of the mentality, the aggressiveness. Notice how high they are. Good ball here.
Akarak comes down for a shot, laced wide by Afonso.
Nice little pocket of space from Baccarat here. Play off the shoulder of Kayaga, and I love this first-time ball, trying to split the difference for Rodriguez. Not much in that whatsoever. Would have been really harsh to point the 12 yards out. And as Alfonso tries to make this run, right idea coming across Siaha, but just pulls it a little bit wide. There's a sense of fluidity within that front three. Quizier, left footer, playing the right-hand side. Alfonso, right footer, playing the left-hand side. So they're always going to try to come centrally to combine and get the ball on their preferred foot.
Go get him, Anderson!
Well, he tried. Anderson did.
Oh! Oh! Mano, bro.
Bangs off of Rodriguez. Loans to Cyprus and now Rhode Island from Linaus. Argentinian under 20 player. Has started every game in the league thus far. Galena, ooh. Thinking Galena saying, I'm not that strong.
Needs to be a first-time ball. As you take the second touch, Sanchez doing a good job. And as a defender, the angle that you take, any sort of contact you feel down, you force the whistle. Clever defending from the left back.
Crack upfield. He's pay through Siaha. Sides about a 90-minute drive apart. JJ Williams gives chase. 7 goal contributions in 7 games, all competitions. 4 through 5 league games. Was sent off once. Explains that one absence. Missed about 3 months last year. Did score 7 goals in 18 games in the league. JJ Williams. Send long, header down. Augie Williams over toward Cariaga. Still work to be done here. Header away toward Ingalina. Drops down to Anderson. Saw Ingalina. He's going to take a high hop off the turf. Siaha able to scoop it. It's extra from Siaha. There's a player down behind for Hartford. JJ Williams is still down. The referee in real time, I think, was more focused on the injured Hartford player, but does have the benefit of the AR over on that far touchline. But there is no VAR to offer anything further.
Siaha feels hard done by. He believes that there is a foul here on JJ Williams, that he does have almost a high elbow here on Scarlett. Not much in that whatsoever. But as this ball comes in, yeah, that's a foul. That has to be called if you are the referee. Clear intent from Siaha to take out JJ Williams.
And you're inside the penalty area, even if you're holding the ball.
Lowers his shoulders, extends at the elbow area just to catch JJ Williams.
And if the referee and the AR didn't see it in real time, it's irrelevant because they can't go back and look at it. And if that's the case, then you'll say this is the dark arts. Siaha and Afonso have made peace.
Nothing in this whatsoever from JJ Williams, just trying to challenge for the ball. But just notice Siaha drops his shoulder and clearly extends at JJ. Inside your own defending box at the foul.
Wow.
The goalkeeper for Hartford Athletic, Brendan Burke and company, get away with it here massively, because if there is VAR, we're going to the penalty mark in favor of Rhode Island.
He'll turn 28 years old, Siaha, on Monday. Rhode Island may have their chance at the penalty spot if we remain on level terms in 18 minutes and change. But it's apparent that this will not lead to the spot now. Quizera just offered a word to the AR as well. And Siaha is again at the center of the Hartford, Rhode Island, El Clamico controversy. Look, I'll mention again, I can't see the referee based on where our cameras are pointing. It's following the ball and the initial contact into Scarlett far enough behind the play. I believe the referee had to be, at that point, looking back at the injured player. Didn't see it in real time. That header snared by Coque Vegas. But, wow.
You are, they are too. You're looking. You have to be able to follow the ball, so you have to be in the line. And that is when you need to have a conversation with Mohamed Kalea and just say, this is what I saw. It's up to you to make the decision. No matter where you are on the field, no matter what position you play, every single time you lower your shoulder and you extend to engage in any contact, it should be a foul. And it exactly what Anthony Siaha does.
J.J. Williams nods this over. Afonso back to Williams. Second try, not the charm either.
But you just see the insertion of J.J. Williams has changed the complexion for Rhode Island. It gives them a big body they can play into, but the opportunistic nature of J.J. Williams just to continue to hunt down any 50-50 ball and make life difficult for Hartford Athletic defenders.
Let's take a look at the Best Western upcoming schedule. Detroit and Louisville next Saturday night, 6 Eastern. It is a rematch of the quarterfinal shock 1-8 upset a year ago. League One takes center stage with Boise and Naples, and then we've got a League One Championship Prinx Tires USL Cup match on May 16th. Richmond and Charleston. Those matches and more on CBS Sports Network. Go to USL Championship.com or USLLeague1.com for complete TV schedules. Away from Ingolina. As we peeked at that schedule, Sadat Anaku came in. Placed Augie Williams. The tough thing is, you also have to contemplate, you're not, oh, that high boot as Williams dodging out of the way. It is a throw to Rhode Island, but you aren't going 120, you're going 90 and then penalties if necessary in the case of a draw.
It's a foul. Notice how high Jordan Scarlett's boot is.
Oh, he did make contact, didn't he? Looked like it. Well, I have a feeling Rhode Island will be sending some notes in at the end of this.
Rightly so. Those are two clear fouls on Hartford Athletic that are just not called.
You can be assured if J.J. Williams scores, he will properly celebrate. There's J.J. Williams taking the initiative. Circulates outside. Wazera down the line. That was blocked.
You see him on the run, bro.
Settled by Anaku. If we remain level at the end of regulation, each team is going to get a point. But the shootout will determine the extra point. No matter what, we're giving away 3 in this game in the first of 4 group stage matches for each of these sides in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. And what we do know is Brooklyn is poised to go to the top of the group either way. They've already won their match 3-0. Ball across, Anderson. Anderson got shut down. Referee says play on. Brendan Burke has his arms above his head, freaking out. Appeal for a handball. That goes unheard. And you sort of wonder if 2 wrongs just made a right. Wow. Maybe Rhode Island is going to leave that email in the drafts. Now a foul in Anderson, and Anderson is livid. Brendan Burke just got a well-earned yellow card. The manager for Hartford. They announce it on the bench. I assure you, it's on Burke.
There's just no play in the ball here from Rodriguez. He simply takes out Seb Anderson. That's a foul. And as this ball comes back across, there is an argument for Holsted's left arm. That one I'm not so sure about. Arm is not extended away from his body. It does come off of the floor. It seemed from that angle, it comes off of his shoulder area, but the first one certainly is a pen. No play from Rodriguez whatsoever on the ball.
Ball into the box, back heel from Anaku.
I know, I had to screaming, I was like,
Driven forward and in behind. And that a foul. Siaha quickly puts it back in play. Well, now he got the juice with 10 minutes to play.
Instead of the white,
Siaha ranges over. Continued his upward ascent. One of the big reasons why the goalkeeping coach for Hartford Athletic, Daniel Gaspar, who's actually been named Ghana's goalkeeping coach ahead of the World Cup just 3 days ago. Into the box, header down, Engelina, that caught his arm.
are you serious? Are you serious? That was the worst call.
No, someone doesn't agree with it, but just notice the right arm of Engelina extended away from his body. That's a clear handball. That is different than what happened with Clay Holstead. Clay Holstead's left arm was connected to his body, it hits off his shoulder.
Diop comes in, the former #1 overall pick in the MLS Super Draft by Charlotte in 2023. Last year at San Diego. That's the end of the line sub-wise for Rhode Island. They use all but Nadarse among the field players. By the way, one of the really cool things for Dan Gaspar, with Ghana for the World Cup. That includes a game at Foxborough against England right
awesome.
up the road.
That is awesome.
Super cool.
Tell you what, if he does have any tickets laying around, you and I are free, right? Maybe not you, but I'm free.
Yeah, June 23rd is an off day for me.
If it's not, we're going to make it one.
It's a free kick. Some emotions bubbling. You know, we spoke with Kano Smith. I said, hey, it's a real rivalry, right? El Clamico, we're 7 games into this. Brendan and Kano both managing each team the entirety of that run. Said, look, it'd be a lot different if I didn't have as much respect for Brendan as I do. Said, we'll jump on the phone. We're talking for an hour, 2 hours. Said, it's all good, fun, genuine. Only 90 minutes apart on the interstate from Pawtucket to downtown Hartford. I don't know that this has all been fun and joyful, but the idea is right.
Especially not the last 15 minutes.
I'll shake hands when it's over, maybe. The physicality really rising at this point. The crazy thing is, if it goes 0-0, fine. We've seen that before. Be the 4th draw in 7 meetings, but we'd still have a shootout. Decide the last point. Toward Williams. Laces it off frame.
Good action from Rodriguez to play in between the lines. Alfonso needs to get himself into a dangerous area. Number 8, right side of your screen. Essentially doing nothing as he pulls out, but as this ball comes back across, it's a difficult technique for JJ Williams because he's backtracking, trying to set his feet and get clean contact while Seb Anderson is right there.
Williams, point guards the attack. Williams trying to make sure that the fans at the adjacent railing are paying attention. Corner. Does he have that magic moment in him? Wouldn't be surprising, that's for sure. Corner, Rhode Island, Siaha rises. How quick can they move?
Go get him! Go run!
Out that way, Holstead.
What?
They're gonna bring it back. Bad touch from Diaz-Pay. Holstead. 86th minute, scoreless still. Anaku called into the Ugandan national team in 2023, and then a torn Achilles, changing his progression substantially. 25-year-old coming off the bench in this game. JJ Williams spots Quizera, breaks free. Quizera, the overlap, sent away. Fisher provided the defense.
That is a really good touch from Quizera to just turn the corner on Real. And as Gardina's just trying to come across this corner, just trying to do a little bit too much, just get into a dangerous area. But Fisher doing a good job at cutting down the angle and making life difficult for the right back.
Bacharach. Quizera Return from Afonso. Real comes out to provide pressure. Ball lofted above J.J. Williams. Rivalry that's been decided historically by the slimmest of margins is trending that way again.
He's right there. Turn around, man. Turn around.
Anderson making that run. Never got to him. Rhode Island leads the charge the other way. Alfonso. Bacharach. Scarlett. Down to Rodriguez, but the whistle blew without advantage. And a yellow card comes out to Anaku.
Just a bit silly here from Anaku, no need. It's almost hip check. Gardena here, the ball's gone, knows exactly what he's doing. Frustration, and more importantly, an opportunity for Rhode Island to whip this ball into a dangerous area and really put pressure on Siaha. Really important here for Rodriguez to beat the initial line of pressure and end this ball right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark with the traffic coming across Anthony Siaha.
A minute and stoppage away from penalties in the group stage of the USL Cup. That could all change in this moment right here. Rodriguez into the box. Williams nods it down. Sent away from Diop. Diop. I feel like I've done 300 minutes between these teams and never seen a goal. Some things are just meant to be. Or are they? Diop. Rodriguez. Yeah. Challenge going into the bench. That's a second yellow. He's been sent off. That silly foul from Anaku follows him minutes later into his second yellow. Sadat Anaku sent off.
Every decision matters here. Just no need. Again, right in front of the bench of Rhode Island. Drop of the shoulder, come through the back of Sanchez. Already on a yellow card, you need to be smarter.
And neither of those fouls were necessary.
Sanchez is going nowhere. He's facing his own.
The ball's going out.
The ball's going out. Just pure silliness and no need from Anaku.
Edge is a good thing, but a few moments in this game have probably spanned into overkill tonight. 5 minutes up a man, and Siaha will trail back. See what Rhode Island can make of it. The first minute of stoppage time entirely eaten up by the process of sending Anaku off. So he'll probably get to 96. And if level still, we'll go to penalties.
Important now for Rhode Island to use this advantage in their favor, understanding that you have 5+ remaining here. You do not need to hit the home run ball immediately. Be patient, understand when the opportunity is to penetrate in between lines, keep the game simple, and play what the game gives you. The ball needs to move extremely quick from left to right to really allow Hartford to start to chase.
Kicked away, Makangila.
So many times, Mike, when teams go up a player, they think they need to win the game immediately. They try to force things. They try to play a little bit more direct, and that plays exactly into what the opposition in this side, Hartford, will do. They're going to park all 10 players behind the ball. Their lines are going to be really compact, and they're going to try to clear their lines every single time they get on the ball.
Rodriguez outside. Quizera offers the service. The header from J.J. Williams billows over and did take a touch off Hartford en route. Corner.
J.J. Williams does a good job by just timing his leaps. Every single time this ball comes, he meets it at the highest point. This time, him and Dispe. And as this ball does go out for a corner, again, really good quality service from Rodriguez over it.
Everyone's got to be focused. One fewer man on the field for Hartford. Header Williams across, and he commits the foul. Scarlett amped up. He is the leader Hartford waited years to get. It's not to take away from guys like Danny Barrera, who captained the side, but this is a guy who walks the walk, talks the talk, no nonsense. His intensity brings everybody up a notch. They've had good captains, but Jordan Scarlett has really elevated this group in a different way. Maybe something on here for Hartford. The option is Anderson. Anderson back over, Cariaga in front, back heel. Caught the arm. Not to be for Coffee. Turned over to Anderson, a free kick, and a yellow card. You did have the support behind in Gio, or else you'd be talking about a potential red. Holstead is booked.
But just no need for Koke Vegas to try to go quick here. Need to keep your composure, get your players high up the field, and then really casual from Holstead. And like you said, Mike, Gio be underneath him. If he's not there, it's a red card. Yep. Thankfully, the center back is in the right position. So two back-to-back silly mistakes from Koke Vegas and Clay Holstead here.
Whoa. Dispe and Afonso went chest to chest. Job trying to pull them apart. Based on the stoppages, in stoppage, we get to 96, maybe even close to 97. Cariaga could steal the points right here. Dispe needs to be careful because he's trying to impede the goalkeeper's vision in an offside position. It's one thing to be adjacent to the wall, it's another thing to be that far behind. Here it is, Samuel Cariaga. On the precipice of penalties. Cariaga steered down by Vegas. He did put it on frame. And he does take us to penalties. A draw after 90 plus. It is a very quick conclusion at the end of regulation. Each team will get a point, and now it's up to the keepers to try and secure the extra point.
It's a really good save from Koke Vegas because you have to trust your wall, number one, but you also have to be aware to this clip to the back post. Cariaga does a good job at getting it up and down, bending it away. Koke Vegas secure, pairs it away, and Gio there to clean up the mess. Good save from the goalkeeper.
Well, Brooklyn is the real winner here. The championship expansion team won 3-0 earlier today and will top the group after the first match day here in Group 5. But what's important now is that second point would ensure that you're not chasing the other in this El Clamico rivalry, the rest of the group potentially. Each team gets the point for the draw at the end of regulation, and now a penalty shootout for that extra point. The group winner goes through to the quarters. This also brutally injures the hopes of whichever team fails to secure the extra point, as it equates to the one and now only wild card position that remains for the non-group winner.
Mentioned it earlier, their first tiebreaker is goals forward. Both of these teams, yes, you have the ability to pick up an extra point, but don't have the ability to get a goal on the score sheet. Definitely going to diminish the hopes of eventually trying to end up for that wild card if you do not have the ability to win this group. And also puts a lot more pressure on the remaining games in group play.
Flip of the coin, Scarlet wins the toss. And the rules of combat, which have been on display throughout, have been laid down one more time. So Siaha and Vegas now can turn their attention toward the scouting that is typically reserved for the playoffs. And that's the glory of a cup game at the end of April. You do get that little added spice, as was described to us in the lead up. The new Ghanaian goalkeeping coach offers thoughts to Siaha as well. There's Gaspar. For those of you tuning in for the Liga MX match between Toluca and Leon, be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app, the cbssports.com/CBSSN website. As soon as it starts, of course, we'll get you out there immediately after the conclusion of this contest.
Hartford will attempt the first penalty kick. Number 15, Arturo.
Toluca, top of the standings in the Clausura. Tigres up 5-1 in their match. To that excellent Apertura run. Well, here we go, down to the final point. The start of the shootout between Hartford and Rhode Island. Adrian Dispay will begin. There is no VAR. So if you leave the line, it's up to the AR who is stationed there to make that call. Hartford will shoot first. Winner gets the leg up in Group 5 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Dispay gets us started against Coque Vegas. And scores. Brilliant penalty. Sends the Rhode Island captain the right way, but out of his reach.
Good composure shown from Dispay here. The slow run-up. And notice, as he just steps into it, shows that he's going to keep his hips open and just wraps his right foot around the ball. Bends it high. Really well taken pen by the center back.
Amadi Gio, former top pick at the MLS Super Draft out of Clemson. Biggest moment in his early days at Rhode Island. And Anthony Siaha, who always seems to rise in moments like this and seems to relish in them, awaits.
He's going left.
Gio to equalize, and does.
Did I not say left?
Rhode Island kick is successful.
Cool under pressure here from Gio Pierre. Such a difficult run up to read if you are a goalkeeper. As he starts quick, a little bit of a stutter step. You have to stay your ground as long as you possibly can. Siaha shows early, Gio goes the other way. Well done.
Up steps Barry Coffey, the former Irish First Division Player of the Year. 25-year-old Irishman try and keep Hartford in front in this shootout. Coffey feigns, denied by Koke Vegas. And the referee just lifted his flag. It's a retake. Vegas left early. Wow. Huge call.
Yeah, watch Koke Vegas' legs here. Clearly a little bit of a hop off of the line before Coffey makes contact with the ball. It's a good call by the referee, and we go again.
Well, it's a good call, but it was a terrible penalty, and Coffey will have a chance to atone. See if the second time is the charm. Can Koke stop him again? Coffey denied again! Koke Vegas, what a moment.
Just never seen confident Coffey, did he? The run up, the hesitation, and it's a comfortable height for Koke Vegas, full extension. Not tucked away nearly enough into the corner. Big time save for the goalkeeper of Rhode Island.
Siaha in his career has saved 4 of 17 in games. Hugo Bacharach next for Rhode Island. Bacharach denied by Siaha. Makes both ways in the first round, saves both ways in the second.
And just a run up as well. Not convincing whatsoever from Bacharach as he steps into it. Shows where he's going. Notice his left foot already pointing towards this left bar. Good save from Siaha. Reads it the whole way.
Vegas in games has saved 3 of 21. Matt Real, champion in USL in 2024 in Colorado Springs. Put Hartford ahead again. Real roofs it. Monstrous penalty from Matt Real.
When you go with power, you need to make sure you get it underneath the crossbar. Notice the shoulders from Real. Conviction in that pen.
The Liga MX match between Toluca and Leon is now underway and available streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this shootout is over. It is Rodriguez, the newcomer from Lanús. Rodriguez, excellent pen.
Steps left, keeps his hips open the whole way, and notice at the last second, the little bit of a dip of his head. Keeps his shoulders over the ball, and does not allow it to miss the target. Class of a pen from the number 10.
Jordan Scarlett, the Hartford captain. Brendan Burke said coming off a major leg injury 2 years ago in Louisville, Danny Cruz called him and said, this is a guy you want on your team. He said it's a lottery ticket that he paid for when he brought Scarlett in. Goodness, is he paid off. Hartford, the champions of USL Cup a year ago, try and go ahead in the 4th round of the shootout. Scarlett just underneath Koke.
And you see the passion from Scarlett. And the short run-up, which is difficult to perfect because a lot of times your balance is off and you're unable to generate enough power. Gets it underneath Coque Vegas. The goalkeeper's going to want that one back as he reads it well.
Rhode Island's next attempt will be taken by number 22, Nick Scardina.
Nick Scardina. His 5th appearance for the club. 24-year-old native Portlander. Looks in at Siaha. Vital kick for Rhode Island. Scardina got it by a diving Siaha. Siaha thought he had it dead to rights.
Need to get it right, Scardina. But watch his hips. As he runs up, he's already showing that he's going to keep them open. And Siaha actually does get a little bit of contact on this ball, but hits it with enough pace, enough power, tucks it into that side netting. The right back does well.
The MVP of the final, the goal scorer against Sacramento, the playmaker we were missing, Brendan Burke said last year, Samuel Careaga. Just his 3rd appearance this year coming off injury. We've entered the sudden death portion of this shootout now. Careaga skied it. Rhode Island will have a chance at the extra point if they can make this next kick.
Mentioned it with Rael, if you do go with power, you need to make sure your contact and your balance is top priority. Notice the follow through here. Almost stabs at it. Unable to continue with the momentum, gets underneath it. Big time miss from the number 10 of Hartford.
Karifa Yao can end it. 25-year-old Montreal native. Siaha looks on. This is the moment for Rhode Island. Yo! The extra point for Rhode Island in the first game of the group stage. Rhode Island takes it in a shootout. And the traveling support 75 miles up the road. And this Rhode Island team in love with this moment.
Pressure on Yao. Center back says thank you very much. Clinical, composed, and a calm pen to give Rhode Island the extra point here on the road.
Yao ends it. El Clamico belongs to Rhode Island again. They ousted Hartford from the Open Cup. Now they grab the extra point. USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. We wrap it after this. Well, it is the El Clamico you anticipated. Tight all the way to the finish. Rhode Island wins it in penalties, takes the extra point in this Prinx Tires USL Cup match. DeLuca and Leon are coming up next. More Prinx Cup is over on Golazo Network, Birmingham and San Antonio. For Ricky Lopez, Espen, our entire crew, Mike Watts saying this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. So long from Connecticut. enter in a moment as well. That is quite the challenge, and Morera is going into the book for this.
Brendan Burke and